Hello you beautiful peeps, my name's John and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be playing What's Inside. What's inside this car? What's inside specifically the differentials? I don't know if you know already, but I did say on the very first review that I was going to take it apart, but I wanted to do a couple of other videos before I did that. But now it's to the point where we can in fact take it apart and see what it's made of, what's inside. Let's get on with it. Job number one. Get rid of these, they have to go. Any more cable ties? No. I mean, I like LED lights, but it puts wires everywhere. Sometimes it's driving me nuts. Right, so where should we start? Actually, I'm going to take the wheels off first. Get those out of the way. I do like this car very much, but the fact that they put 8mm wheel hexes on them is very, very annoying because there's not that many options out there for tyres. And certainly not for the hexes. Make sure that you keep the little pins that are inside of the wheel hexes, and obviously the nuts, don't let them go running off anywhere. The little pins, for those that don't know, are in here. They go in the little hole. Okay, I'll go the other way. So you go in the little hole in there, as you see. And the last one. You go bye-bye. Okay. Take the two off the rear here first. Oh, do you feel the power? Oh. 700 horses of screwdriver power. Several of you have asked where I bought my screwdriver from, and I have no problems telling you all, but please heed my advice. It's called a Wow Stick. It's very, very good at what it does, but do not buy the AAA version. Make sure you buy the USB version because it is got a little bit more torque to it. And trust me, that's a good thing. Okay, by undoing those two screws, you get the bumper off, so you need to unplug the LED lights and feed them back through. Put that to one side. So, working on that theory, these two should do the front bumper. Is that correct? I mean, if I'm just going to unscrew it myself, then I may as well just get a normal screwdriver. Shouldn't I? Nice. All right, all the suspension comes apart now. So, let me show you as it comes apart. Actually, keep it this side. These wishbones here are held with a pin. You can see that metal pin there. And it's all fed in, you can see, I mean, these come out of there, so you can sort of choose to leave them in the car until you're ready to take them out, but I know where they're going to go. Don't forget the spacer. I'm going to leave all of that on as is, so I know where it goes afterwards. And as you can see, it all folds apart. Which is actually a pretty handy thing. So let's disconnect the motors. And we will disconnect the servo. I'm going to disconnect the servo from this side. Now I'm not going to disconnect it from here because it's a lot harder to get down there. Cool. Okay. Now. Right. Two screws that hold the upper wishbone. Get off. Come on. Okay, I'm giving up. It defeated me. It's alright when it's got full battery power, but when it's on low, it's naff, quite frankly. I had a comment this morning when I woke up, which was really nice to hear. Somebody explaining that I was completely rubbish and naff at what I do and that I'm doing it all wrong. I responded to the person, but, you know, I'm not going to put any more effort into it. But I've never once said that I'm an expert at this. He was going on about, oh, I've been doing models for 30 years and, you know, I'm brilliant and you're shit type person. And I'm sorry, but I have never said that I'm an expert. I'm literally finding this stuff out as I'm going along on the journey with you. So my apologies if I'm doing things incorrectly. It's not deliberate. It's not just to irritate you people. It's because I'm also learning. Right. Let me show you in detail now. You've got, obviously, the top one we've just taken off here. The bottom one we took off with the bumper. So you've got the steering arm here. I'm just going to, actually no, let's take off the suspension here first. Just pull it, what one should we do? Lower one? Come on, there you go. You see how they just pop off, like so. And then I can just do the steering here, the same thing. It should just, oh, is it gonna pop off? I don't want to snap it, so be very careful at this point. They can snap. There we go. So that's off, and I will show you these bits in just a moment. I'll just do the same on this side. Come on. Ooh. There we go. Okay, just put the car to one side just for a second so I can show you. These are the cups that go inside of here. Now on this hub, you have a larger wheel bearing, and that's what obviously the larger part of the hub goes into. It's nice to see that there's proper wheel bearings in this, and the smaller one goes on that side, then the pin goes in. Okay, so I'm just going to keep all of that together and put that over there. You can see it actually in situ here. That is the larger wheel bearing. That is the smaller one. Smaller one pops out. And then the little pin. Come on. It's not feeding in very well. Why is that? Oh, it's not feeding in. I'm glad that I've done this so I can show you. See that pin's come out there. So it's not feeding into the wheel bearing properly. It can't come out while you're driving because obviously it'll be in the wheel bearing, but I don't like when stuff like that happens at all. Actually, look at that. It's completely come out. That's really bad. Okay. So if you ever have the problem where it's not fitting back into the wheel bearing, it's because that little pin has come out. So once I put it back in position, you see how it now feeds a lot better in. And you know that because then you can see the hole there for the pin. See how that's now fitting better as well. So just keep that in mind. If anything was to happen when you were taking it apart, that is the culprit. Okay, I need to find out where that one went to, whether that was at the rear here or not. Sorry, the rear here. I'm having a brain fart. Okay, right, now. Oh. Shall we? Yeah, we'll do the rear now, because then that's also out the way. So, again, 2 screws inside here. Take these off. It's the same system at the rear as it is at the front. Bumper comes off, those 2 pins come out. Come on. There you go. Take these pins out. If I just show you on the rear bumper, you can see again how it goes together. Like so. Drive shaft slightly different on the rear, but again I'll go through that for you. Pop that off. Show you in detail again here. Same thing with the larger and the small bearing. But rather than the drive shaft being connected, like at the front, the CBD joint. Wow. Wow. There we go. It just sits in like that. So just keep it all safe. And do the... That's actually... Huh? I took that out. Nope. Whoa. Must be going mad, people. Okay. Okay, that cup goes in there, and we'll put that to one side. Just going to unpop the suspension as well. Whoa, cheap quality suspension. I'll pop off the ones at the front as well. Right, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws that need to be undone. That's noticeable, keep that in mind. The larger one goes here and the smaller one goes just in front of that. And that's an absolute diddy one. That goes at the motor there. Okay, and then the two at the front. They look the same as those ones, yeah. So these two here are the same as those two there. Again, just keep that in mind. When you're putting it back together, it's good to know where all these screws go to. Okay, so. And then that pops off. Pops off quite nicely, actually. Is that grease they've got in there? Yeah, it is grease they've got in there. Fair enough. Okay, now we're getting to the good part. By the looks of it, there's just two more screws at each end to take the diffs off. If I angle it slightly, it may be easier for you to see while I'm doing this. No, not really. I'm trying. These screws here are the same as those two, and those two I'll just do the ones at the front while I'm here. Oh, these are slightly smaller. That's interesting. The ones at the front are smaller, as you see. So again, keep that in mind. They're even different from the ones at the rear there, so try and keep them safe. When I'm taking a car apart, I always try and keep them in order. These are the suspension, these are the centre column and the diffs. Don't know whether it works, I've not put it back together, but we'll soon find out. Right, let's have a look. Well, that's dry. Wow. I mean, there is the slightest smidgen of grease in there, but that is not enough for a drifting car. Wow. That is bad. Okay. Now, these are different to the WL toys, and I'm wondering why. The motor must be going in a different direction. The reason I say that is this one on the WL toys is this way. Always on the left hand side it's facing you, on the right hand side it's facing away, but these are different, they're completely the opposite. So keep that in mind. So let's put the car to one side and let's take one of these apart. They just pull out. I'm going to take you down. There we go. Oh, come on. Okay, they are plastic diffs, right? So there is something to be said about, with plastic diffs, you don't really need a lot of lubrication in there. You know, all my years I've always put lubrication even on the plastic gears and whatnot. But they have put some in there. There is, you can see that the light is shining off them somewhat. So there is a little bit in there. But we know how much the WL Toys metal diffs cost. I mean, they're not the best quality either, are they? But they are at least metal, and they're not going to be that much more expensive than manufacturing this one. But that's my own personal opinion. But everything looks... Actually, this setup is exactly the same as on the WL Toys A959. They still have metal gears, but the way it's put together with the cup sliding in is exactly the same as the A979, A959, A and B versions. So that's quite interesting, actually. You see how it turns, like so. It does when I'm pushing it down. So, okay, right, what I'm going to do, and the reason I'm going to do it is because I have some laying around. There are some purists out there that are going to be really upset with me doing this, and I apologise, but I like to ensure that my diffs are lubricated. I apologise if that upsets you. Whack it in. Okie dokie. Make sure that we line the holes up again. And a little tip for you all. Put one screw in and then check that it's working, because the cross has to be aligned properly. There's two little gouges taken out of both. They have to be sat so that they sit sort of across from each other in a perfect cross. If not, they'll sit on top of each other and your differential will not work again. It will be very rough. There we go. Believe it or not, that's smooth when you've got plastic gears. Which explains the sound, doesn't it? So, there we go. Right, now I will put the last three in. Oh, this one's not even turning. I was just going to put the car back together now, but now I need to see what's going on in here. This would be the front one. The one that I just put the white lithium grease in was the rear one. What's going on here then? Why is this not turning? Oops. Okay, I'm going to take it all out and give it a good grease. Screw go. There we go. Okay, bear with me just for a second because that camera is about to end because it goes off after 30 minutes, so I'll just restart both of them. Okie dokie. Right, job number 1. Let's see if there's anything down here causing this to be rough. No, there is not. What little lubrication there is, I am getting rid of. And I will just look at the gears, see if they've been chewed up in any way. They don't look like they have on that, at least. You've got a drifting car, why would you not just put the metal parts in? Is that me just being a little bit too picky? Maybe there's a reason that they've got plastic. Maybe it's just for weight or for quick acceleration or whatever, but it just seems a bit... You know what to come out, no? Okay, well you came out in the end. Don't look chewed up. I thought that because there was that bit of black on it that they were chewed up, but it doesn't look like it. Let me grab the 4 cone gears. You can have a quick look at those. They look alright, don't they? Okay, it's actually good that I've taken this one all the way out, because now I can show you what I meant by the pins. These are the 2 pins that sit on cross members, and if you look... Dunk. There we go. You see how they've got the grooves in them. So when you put it back, you have to make sure that it's like that, because if it's sat like this, it will never work again. So this now sits in there. I'm going to put a little bit of lithium grease on it, because obviously then it will lubricate underneath there as well. Nice. And a big blob. Now we put one of these together. So they go together like so. And the bottom one, or the first one at least that you put in, has to have the groove facing upwards. If you look on here, you've got the holes there for the screws, 1, 2. These sit in between, so they will sit like so. There we go. So now you see how that groove is facing upwards. I'm not pushing it all the way down right now, because if I do, we'll lose it and we won't be able to see if the grooves are lined up or not. So now, this one now has to be facing downwards, like so. Okay, now bring it up again so you can see. Oop. That's not right. Come on. Cool. Now if you see, they are now set on top of each other correctly. So now I can push them down, knowing that they're in the correct position. Nice. Do not be tempted to put the cup in now and test it, because then you'll just push them back out of alignment. So, some grease. Take a little bit of the grease from there, and we shall put that onto here, like so. And then look where the holes are. And make sure that the holes line up. I wonder why it was so tight. Didn't see anything that had broken off or any shards of plastic laid in there. I've lost a screw somewhere. I'll just squidge it out. Come on, eat in. Yay. Smooth as butter. It's not really, it's actually not smooth at all. Why is that one so tight in there? Why can't I get that out now? Jesus. Not being funny, but that sounds rough. Somebody warned me about what the quality would be like when I got in here, and I'm like, it can't be that bad. But again, there could be a reason. Maybe I just don't know the reason why they've used plastic gears in the diff. I assume it can't be on just price alone, because they don't cost that much to make those little bits metal. Oh, come on. Remember, when you're using white lithium grease, as with any grease, it has to take a while before it will actually lubricate everywhere. So don't go putting it in your car, turning it on and going full acceleration. It'd be like putting new oil in your real car and then, going rallying with it straight away without it having a chance to get around the whole engine. Man, that is tight. Could it be half a turn back on all of these? About a quarter of a turn by the looks of it. Yeah, look at that. So don't tighten these up too much either. Got to be enough that it's tight, but not so much that it messes it up. Okay, I was just going to call it a day there, because obviously putting it back together is just the reverse of taking it apart. But I know that there are a few out there that are a little bit scared of taking cars apart, so I am going to quickly put it back together. The bits that are boring, I will just quickly fly through. There we go. Right, now, it was the opposite way to what it is in the WL Doys, so it goes like that, and like that. Put a little bit of grease in. And you can turn, if you see here, you can turn this. I just imagine the purists out there screaming at me now, don't do it, don't put grease on that. Right, now, just going to wipe that off. There we go. Eens met screwdrivers. This. Okay, these two go all the way at the rear. Oops. I was just saying why there was so much black on this one. I was wondering if they were too tight, but you can't adjust them anyway, so even if it was too tight, it's going to have to be that way. Ooh, wrong way around. Right way around. Remember, it's the two smaller ones at the front. Okay, now the rears. It goes like that, and this one goes like that. Must be that way then. That must be that way then. Yep, cool. So remember what I said about the two pins? Like so. If you see, these two pins feed in here with these connected. So I'm going to put these on already, like so. And the other side. Like so. And you just get those out of the way for now. Right, there is one thing that I think I've done wrong. I'm glad I noticed that straight away, is I think this one is upside down. I'm just going to double check, because if you see in here... No, did I have it the right way? I did have it the right way. And go figures. So, again. There we go. You know that this is the lower one because it's got the ball joint at the rear for the suspension. So, see where it's feeding into, as I said. Both pins just need feeding in, come on. Good time for the light to go out, isn't it? There we go. Right. use the wrong one. Yes, I did. Careful that you don't use the wrong ones. I did look over, and this one is the one for the suspension because it's only got thread at the end. This one needs the thread all the way down. There we go. Okay, turn it back over. You can actually just put that suspension back in there, it just pops in. And I will do this one while I'm here. Bottom one pops in like so. Top one pops in like so. Okay, now cup has fallen out from that side. Push it in. Got the two drive shafts. Put it in, and then make sure that we feed it into the cup this side as well, really important. And then put the suspension arm back down, and remember what I said about the screw with just a little bit there. This is what holds the upper one into position. So this one goes. Oh man. A little bit fiddly. Line it all up. There we go. And I see that it's now. Stop it. Stop bouncing. Cool. Oh, I can't wait till the studio's finished. Nice and tight. This one fell out again. Put it back in. Woo. Put it up. Come on. Drive shaft in. And into position. Not lined up at all. There we go. Right, get the shakes now. Oh, come on. Right. There we go, finally. Sorry about that. Always have problems finding the hole. Right, suspension back together. So turn it around, and we shall do the front. So same principle as before. Pin. Just going to make sure that they all fit before I start putting it together. Whoa, that's a tight fit, isn't it? Okay, so pins in. We need the suspension because it's steering that goes this side, so to the rear. So the lower one goes like so and like so. You just get the suspension, everything out of the way for the minute because it's just the lower part that we need to do. So, oops. Would you believe me if I said that wasn't me? Probably not. Okay, You can see that it's fed in on both sides again, which is good. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Right. Need to put that in. Right. Dog bone in. And then suspension arm in. Like so. Find one of those screws with the thread at the end. And again at the other side. Oops. Nice, 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 nice. Okay. So, shocks back in. Pop the lower one in. Then the upper one. Pop the lower one in. And then the upper one. While we're here, put the steering on. Oh, that's tough. Pliers. Nice. Gorgeous. Now, I'm just going to get rid of a little bit of that. They've definitely had some sort of grease in here, haven't they? Alright, I'm not going to do it on this occasion. I would usually if I was just doing it for myself, but you decide whether you want to do it or not. Because it looks like this is wearing, actually. Do you know what? You're all going to just moan at me anyway, so... Please don't moan at me. Okay, right, now make sure these two pins at the front obviously feed into that first, because that's really important. That's just the steering column. And then make sure it all fits in nicely. So we have really long ones go right at the back. Ones. Really, really small one, remember, goes here. I made a boo-boo somewhere. I've got one screw left. Whoops. That will be obvious later. do I have one screw left? Diff, 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 diff. Oh man, typical man, always got one screw left over, and I thought I was over this. Oh no. Oh, this is actually, yeah, thank God that I'm recording this so I can look back when I'm editing and go, where did that come from? It's going to be really obvious as well, isn't it? Where did I take that from? 1, 2, 1, 2. Then we got the 7 on the top. Suspension's done. It was just spare. You know, they always send a spare. So anyway, swiftly moving on. Don't forget that this one passes through ear. It's actually quite difficult to get it in, so I'm going to put that in now because it's one of the smaller ones. Goes into the tail light. It's actually marked on the ESC, which is nice. Come on. Come on. Phew. Okay, good. Motor to motor. That's for the battery. This is for the servo. So I'll put that underneath like so. Just put the lid on that. Right, now I'm going to quickly grab the controller, and this is coming up to 30 minutes, so back in a sec. Okay, back, got the controller, got a battery. I'm not sure if the battery's got any juice, of course, but I hope it's got enough just to run it a few seconds. Remember what I said, don't just go blasting it straight away, because it does need to get itself around everywhere. Steering and sounds smoother, doesn't it? Jeesh. Yeah, and that was rubbing on that. Whoops. Listen to that. How smooth is that? Okay, let me just turn that off for a sec. That's bothering me with that screw, just so you know. LCD kicking in. Like, where did that go? Uh-oh. Okay, now, pins. And go back into the wheels. Like so. Take a hex, and you see there it's got the place where the pin goes into. Line it up. Put it in. Put on a wheel. I'll just blast through the last 3. Well, what do you guys think? Does that sound quieter? It does to me. Definitely, for sure, it does to me. Anyway, I will say thank you for watching. If you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well, and hit that notification bell for future video alerts. But those that are wishing to stick around a few moments longer, it's absolutely soaking on my roof, so I can't drive the car yet. get there because it will just get ruined, but I will just find somewhere in the house to just quickly drive the car around a little bit so that you can see yourselves that it's actually much quieter than it was previously. So make sure you stick around and watch that. Thanks, guys. Thank you to those of you that have stuck around. You've probably seen my video from the other day on this very roof, so you'll be able to compare the sounds. I'll see if I can find a snippet and compare them, but listen to this. That is definitely so much quieter. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye bye.